A few years back, about 5, I did a video saying within the next 10 years, Southern Ireland was going to be flooded with over 1 million immigrants. And I was right, but I said it would take 10 years. I was kind of wrong about that. It's happened quicker than that. So, given that, here's my next prediction. That you'll get another 1 million immigrants within the next 10 years and you'll be on the cusp of civil war. Also, by the way, I like Southern and Northern Ireland. And I understand the historical parts of it, and I understand why the South aren't too keen on the Brits, the Anglos, Brit bongs, call it what you want. I understand that, and I understand why you wanted your independence. I also understand up in the north their want to remain loyal to the United Kingdom. Here's one thing that you both have in common. You have both been absolutely screwed over by the British establishment, the British government. During the 70s and the 80s, it was a war that could have ended a lot quicker than they did, but they used you, apart from the fact that it was majorly profitable for the military industrial complex, because we've got one just like America do, to supply arms, and it also was a great distraction. I know that's sad to say that millions, well not millions, billions I would think over the time was spent, and thousands have lost their lives. Millions of people's lives were made miserable, and for what? Well, you can call it what you like. I'm going to be honest now, globalism. The same globalism that probably drove the South into the hands of the European Union which promised it everything, and after they had their vote for the second time with their 10 amendments to the reasons why they wanted to stay in, and the European Union said we'll do all this for you, they then promptly shat on them. So you got shat on by the Brits, and then you got shat on by the European Union. So for that I feel sorry for you. But just remember this, the Brits, as you call it, aren't represented by their government, the government that shat on you in the past and the government that still shits on the North. It wasn't, or those people that are in government have no liking for the people of Great Britain. They've made their life miserable a lot as well. They don't have too much of a care for anybody unless you're really somebody who can line their pockets. And that's the way politics is now in Southern Ireland, Northern Ireland, all of Great Britain, the European Union, and further afield. Now there is this want, and I don't know why, but it is what it is, that they want to flood all of Europe with millions and millions and millions of people who have no love for the place, who culturally share very little with us, and coming from the places they do not respect law in the same way that we do, or our values, and have no interest in taking on a lot of the traits and the parts, or the things that make people either Irish, Northern Irish, English, whatever. You get assimilate, basically. They don't want to do that. So a lot of people down in the south relied on Sinn Féin. A lot of people thought, going back in the 70s, that, say for instance, the IRA and Sinn Féin were honest. Well, unfortunately they're not. All the time that they were trying to sell you socialism, which you haven't got still, and if you did, you wouldn't like it either, they were selling a dream. They pretended they were for civil rights. They weren't. And when they did finally get power, what did they do? They bullied their own, they bullied everybody else, they murdered, bombed, and blew their way to the negotiating table, and at which point they've got into politics and now they're selling you out. I think that the loyalists are a great deal better, because even Gusty Spence, while he was in the maze, was talking about socialism, and both sides ended up being a mechanism for organised crime. Sad really, because many good men actually fought for a cause they thought was honest, and I suppose when it started out it was. But what the point of this video is, that the Brits are going to drop Northern Ireland, whether the Northern Irish like it or not, and I don't want it to happen either. And what's going to happen is globalism is going to take a massive dump on Ireland, generally speaking, from all the way around the shore and everything in between. And you're going to end up in civil war. But the one thing I will say is, in so doing, what they will do is unify the Catholics and the Protestants in their struggle to save any strand of normality and heritage that that island has. And you will literally join forces, as I am aware through back channels that Protestants and Catholics are talking now about the threat that Ireland has in it already and still remains the bigger threat coming over, because once Islam reaches a certain percentage in any country, it changes its policy towards that country. So at 0.5%, the people are very pleasant. At 1%, they change their attitude. At 2%, there is quite a difference in change. 5%, you start getting groups asking for Sharia law and wanting certain things brought about. By the time you get to 15%, you're in massive trouble. Well, you've already done that. So I would say that Ireland is going to be a cataclysm of violence again. And that's a sad thing, because nobody wants that at all. No, I mean, do you know what? The thing is, if these people were coming over and all they wanted to do was get on and assimilate, I would say great. You know, I still wouldn't like the fact that you would end up losing your heritage, because they will eventually outbreed you anyway, because we know that the reason that they're saying that they need to bring these people in is because the people of Ireland aren't breeding at numbers that will even keep their levels at the levels are dropping. Now, you can pick your reason for that, but anyway, there it is. But what I'm saying is, you will unite with each other, and your troubles of the past will seem nothing to what's coming. So mark my words on this. Now, I'd like to hear what your comments are in this, so let me know, and I'll speak to you in a bit.